The Apple Watch Series 4 has actually been announced, well, 2 days ago, and it's actually the biggest change for an Apple Watch since the original Apple Watch was introduced back in 2014. So here are not 5, not 10, not 15, not 20, but actually 30 things you probably didn't know about the Apple Watch Series 4 and that you definitely need to know before buying one. So grab some snacks because this is going to be one long but very interesting and exciting video. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. So at number 1, the Apple Watch Series 4 is actually the first redesign since the original Apple Watch. It's not a full redesign. The corners are a bit more rounded and the whole design matches the corners and the edges and also the iPhone X design way more than before. So it's a much cleaner and more refined design of the previous generation. And with this new redesign, the cases of the Apple Watch are now larger as well. So the 38mm became the 40mm and the 42 became the 44mm. So you're probably wondering, are the previous bands still going to work? And yes, all the previous bands have been confirmed to work by Apple on the Series 4, and all new Series 4 bands will also work on our previous generation models as well. Now, one of the biggest features in the Apple Watch Series 4 is actually the ECG meter. So you can actually put your finger on the crown, on the digital crown, and it can now take an electrocardiogram, which is huge for an Apple Watch or for any smartwatch on the market right now. I think this is the first one that can do that. Now, the only problem is that ECG is restricted to the US market. So if you go to the UK website, you can't even find a single mention of this feature, and this is probably because of ADA approval. So it was approved in the US, but probably not in the European Union or even in Asia yet by the EEC. So we don't really know if the US models are actually manufactured with the ECG and then the rest of the models don't even have that feature included in hardware, or if this is just a software disabled feature that's currently disabled for Europe and Asia, and at some point in the future, we don't know when this gets approved, it would be enabled in software. I really hope that this is the case. And even for the US market, this is not going to be available at launch, by the way. So Apple said it's coming by the end of the year, which means that the software update will enable this in the US, but again, no word in other countries. So yeah, that kind of sucks, especially considering that this is literally it could even be the #1 key selling feature of the Apple Watch Series 4. And Apple is promoting the cellular model more and more than before. The ability to basically use your Apple Watch as a smartphone, take calls and, read messages when you're away from your phone. But not a lot of people know that cellular roaming is actually not supported on the cellular model. So if you want to use this outside of your own country, well, it's not going to work. Keep that in mind. So yeah, that's probably because there's not enough room inside the Apple Watch for multiple cellular network antennas, but yeah, definitely keep this in mind if you plan on getting a cellular model and if you travel a lot. And Apple has now killed the Apple Watch Edition. So yeah, the ceramic version has now been removed entirely, and the original edition was the golden Apple Watch, which came with the Series 0, the original one, and that one came with a very interesting price tag of $17,000 for the most expensive model, but that was replaced by the ceramic with the Series 2. With the Series 3 we got the space gray ceramic, and now Apple ended up removing that series entirely, and we only get it in aluminum and then the stainless steel as the premium version, which I actually think is a really good choice. Let me know in the comments if you ever loved the ceramic model. Speaking of models, you can also get the Nike Plus model of the Apple Watch, but here's the very weird thing. The Nike Plus and the regular Apple Watch, the aluminum one, literally cost the same, right? The exact same price, but the Nike Plus model comes with a few more exclusive watch faces, so I don't really see why anyone would not get the Nike Plus over the regular aluminum model. Again, same price, but you actually get more features with the Nike Plus model. That's quite funny. And speaking of new features with the Nike Plus model, it also comes with a new reflective sports loop that basically shimmers when light strikes it. So this is very useful for bikers or late night runners. Really cool feature to have. I'm not sure if this is only on the Nike Plus sport loop or if you get this with basically any sport loop that you buy. So this hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's definitely there with the Nike Plus models. And the Series 4 also comes with a completely new re-engineered digital crown. So it doesn't physically press anymore. Instead, it gives you a haptic feedback similar to the iPhone 7 or the iPhone 8's home button when you do press it. And this also applies to scrolling, by the way. So you now get feedback when you're pressing through the menus, which is pretty cool, really cool to have, and you get this extra vibration that you didn't have on the previous generation. So yeah, that's quite nice to have. And also, it's not a full red crown anymore on the GPS per cellular model, so we only get a red ring. And if you get the GPS only models, so the one without the cellular network, those ones actually have a black ring. So yeah, fun fact. Another fun fact is when it comes to water resistance. So same as before, we get 50-meter water resistance, but previously it was not covered under warranty, by the way. So it was water resistant, but if it broke, well, that was your fault, which is stupid. Because Apple encourages you to use this underwater. You even have workouts underwater, which is crazy, swimming workouts. and if it broke underwater, you know, you were out of luck. That was your fault. But now it doesn't really say anywhere on Apple's website that it's not covered under warranty. So I'm guessing that it is, at least to some extent. This could be thanks to the haptic feedback engine that we get for the crown, which doesn't click anymore, and this actually helps improve water resistance. So I'm really hoping that this time it's covered under warranty, because again, it's not mentioned that it's not this time on Apple's website. And the Series 4 also comes with a new gyroscope and accelerometer, which can now detect multiple types of falls. Now, I know this sounds a bit funny, Apple Watch telling you that, oh, you've actually fallen. Now, obviously the Apple Watch won't be able to prevent you from falling over. That would be cool, but not yet. However, what it can provide you with is if you've been immobile for 1 minute, it will automatically call the emergency services. So this is very, very useful to have. And then the speaker has been improved, so we get a 50% louder speaker, which was actually a big issue with previous watches. When we were talking to someone via phone call, well, it wasn't really that loud, and also the microphone was quite bad as well. Well, the microphone has also been improved. It's now been relocated to the right-hand side, and this would improve the quality with the speaker for Siri and phone calls as well. And something also new about the Apple Watch Series 4 is that we get a ceramic and sapphire crystal back on all the models, and yes, this also applies to the entire back now. So previously we had the circle on which the sensors were located, and then the metal, which, you know, was on the actual case of the Apple Watch. But now we have the entire back made out of ceramic and sapphire crystal, pretty much just like the iPhone X. So we get glass on both the front and the back, and then we get the frame, stainless steel frame that links the two. And then thanks to the improved microphone, the louder speaker, and the ceramic and sapphire crystal back, the cellular reception has also been improved. Apple says that this is a significant improvement over the Series 3. Also, no more saying, "Hey Cindy," you can now just raise your wrist. This also applies to the Series 3, by the way, but you can just raise your wrist and you can already talk to Siri, which is really cool and really useful to have. Now, the problem with this was that Siri was quite slow, and the whole performance of the Apple Watch, even the Series 3 was significantly faster than the S2, which I have right here, but it wasn't that great either. Well, this is actually the first 64-bit Apple Watch, the Series 4, with the Apple S4 processor, which Apple says that it's 2 times faster than the Series 3, which was already 2 times faster than the Series 2. So I'm actually looking forward to that improvement, because this thing is really, really slow. I was actually considering on making a rant video about how slow previous generation Apple Watches actually are. And then the displays of the Apple Watch Series 4 are actually larger, quite a bit larger than the previous generation. So the 38 has a 35% larger display, and then the 42, which is now the 44, has a 32% larger display than the previous generation, than the Series 3, which means that you can see more content on the screen, and also some watch faces and complications have been redesigned almost entirely. So that's quite cool. Now, the Series 4 also comes with thinner bezels, and that's why we're getting that significantly larger display in what's almost the same form factor as before. Now, in terms of the bezels, they're thinner, but not as thin as I would have wished Apple would be introducing with the Series 4. I mean, take a look at this. Apple is finally showing the bezels of the Series 3 on their website. Before, they weren't really doing that. They were only showing the Series 3 with a black watch face, you know, in order to hide the bezels, but now they're actually comparing the two, and they're actually showing the bezels on the Series 4 as well, which, yes, they're not that thin, but when you compare the two, there's a huge difference between the Series 3 and before and the new Series 4. Also, notice how the Series 4 has rounded corners on the display on the outside and also the inside compared to the squared ones, which do match the exterior curves. And this looks really, really nice. But what would look even nicer would be for the Apple Watch to have an always-on display. So this is weird. This is something that you can find on phones such as the Google Pixel 2, or the latest phones from Samsung, or even the latest phones from LG with an LCD display. You can see the time and the notifications on the display all the time. Now, for some reason, we don't really have this on the iPhone X or the iPhone XS, which is strange because they do come with an OLED display, and they're really power efficient compared to other Android smartphones. The Apple processors are really power efficient, but nope, we don't have that. And you would think that, oh, we have it on the Apple Watch because, you know, it's a watch, but nope, we don't have it either. So no always on display on the Apple Watch when, by the way, basically every single other Android Wear smartwatch does come with one. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know why Apple hasn't included this yet, but for a smartwatch, this can be a deal breaker for some. I mean, yes, you can tilt your wrist and it will show you the time, but having the time there all the time does make a huge difference. And speaking of time, we actually get a new exclusive infograph watch face, and this one comes with a few different styles. There's the standard one, which shows you up to 8 different complications. I love this one. There's the modular one, the chronograph, and you can customize these in many ways based on what complications you decide to add, but these take full use of the extra screen real estate that we have on the Series 4. Obviously, the whole UI has been redesigned to take advantage of the extra screen as well, and then we also get a new Breathe watch face, which should work on the Series 3. But yeah, if you're the kind of person that uses the breathing app, you know, when the Apple Watch reminds you to breathe, well, feel free to use that watch face. I think that's really cool. It looks really nice. And then there's also a new fire, a new water, and a new dust face, which I think these are actually exclusive to the Series 4. But yeah, we get quite a few new exclusive watch faces, which is pretty cool because this is, you know, this is the main customizability tool that you have on a smartwatch, on an Apple Watch especially, changing the watch face. And up until now, well, we haven't had some major watch face redesigns and changes since I think it was WatchOS 3. And finally, we have an Apple Watch that's actually thinner than the previous generation, because the first Apple Watch was obviously the thinnest one, and then the second and the third and all the other generations, Series 1, 2, and Series 3 were thicker than the previous model. That they kept getting thicker and thicker. You know, the Series 4 comes in at 10.7mm thick versus 11.4 on the Series 3. So yes, it's thinner than the Series 3 and the Series 2, but it's actually still thicker than the original Apple Watch. So the original one is still at 10.5mm thick. So yeah, that's the thinnest Apple Watch. Hopefully the Series 5 will be, you know, thinner than that. The Series 4 also comes with a W3 chip from W2 and also Bluetooth 5.0. So basically every single new Apple device now comes with Bluetooth 5.0. The new MacBooks, the iPhone 10s, the iPhone 10s's. And now with the W3 chip, I think this is the first, yeah, this is definitely the first Apple device to come with the W3 chip, which means that the AirPods 2, which should be launching pretty soon, hopefully by the end of the year, they would be coming with a W3 chip as well. And the battery life should be better for both the Apple Watch and the AirPods when paired together. And then the Series 4 also comes with 16 gigabytes of internal storage, which is actually the same amount as the Series 3 with cellular. Now, many people believe that you actually need to have the cellular model if you want to use the Apple Music when you don't have your iPhone near you. But fun fact, you can actually download songs on the internal storage, even on the Wi-Fi only models. Then you can listen to those songs offline or even full playlists when, for example, you're at the gym. And we also get a second generation heart rate sensor, which is not an ECG, but this is also available on the Apple Watch, especially if you don't have ECG enabled in your country. Basically every single country outside the US, you can still use an improved version of the first generation heart rate sensor, which should be faster and more accurate than before. And then we also have a brand new gold option, which this one is quite interesting because it actually looks very similar to the Series 0, the gold one, but it's obviously not made out of real gold. This is just anodized, polished stainless steel. It's much cheaper than, you know, the original one actually was, but it looks really similar to that, really nice. And you should see one on the channel. Definitely subscribe and notifications if you want to see that day one coverage very soon. And then finally, we have the same price finally for all the colors of the premium bands. So previously the Space Milanese loop, for example, the Space Black one was more expensive than the silver, and same applied to the Link bracelet. The dark ones, the Space Black one was more expensive than the silver, but this time all of them are literally the same price as the silver model. Goodbye bands and hello bands. So yeah, the modern buckle is back, by the way. It's still only available in the 40mm size, but the Link bracelet for some reason is now gone, and also same applies to the classic buckle. That's also gone as well. I mean, at some point they might be coming back, especially considering that the modern buckle did the same. It was unavailable for a few months and now it's back. And finally, we have a darker version of Space Gray on the new Apple Watch. So if you compare the Series 4 with the Series 3 on Apple's website, it looks darker, the Series 4, than before. Now, actually, some apply to the MacBooks, the new MacBooks, but in real life, it's literally the same Space Gray. So I'll let you guys know when I get it in hands if it's actually darker or any different from the Series 3. But yeah, there you go. Definitely subscribe and notifications because I'm getting my hands on these ASAP. I also did a similar video on the iPhone XR, and I'm going to do one on the iPhone XS soon as well. 30 things you didn't know. Definitely check out that video. Again, subscribe and notifications if you're new to the channel and you want to see more in-depth videos like this one. Join the zone by tapping that join button to support the channel and also get exclusive perks such as a live stream and also some cool badges that actually evolve over time. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the Series 4. Do you think it's worth it, or do you think, you know, it's just a minor upgrade over the Series 3? How would you say, would you actually prefer having a round Apple Watch? I think I would choose that any day. I really love that round design, but yeah, I know it's not that effective when it comes to, that efficient when it comes to the screen real estate. But yeah, thank you for watching. This was it for this video. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.